Hey everybody, Andrei from CFX Films here, and I'm going to tell you everything you need to know to get started with Mixcraft Pro Studio 7. If you've been following my channel for a while, you may remember that I made a Mixcraft 6 introduction video, and that did very well, and I am excited to come back and give you guys some of the updates and let you know what's going on with Mixcraft 7. It's been out for a little while now, but I have the Pro Studio 7 version, and I'm going to let you know how good it is and if you should buy it. We're going to jump right in here and we're going to start with this new project settings window. Now, this is a little more advanced than what Mixcraft 6 had. What's really cool about Mixcraft 7 is they have this performance panel option that you can use if you're having a live production that you need to have Mixcraft running for. So if you have a soundboard, you can hook that up and you can start pressing the buttons that will synchronize with the panel that I'll show you in a second. And you can start using the beats and have loops in your own custom loops running live, which is really cool. And, snap settings is basically whenever you're moving the tracks or moving the clips or the samples or the loops in your tracks, you can snap them to the grid on certain beats, which is very helpful. Video track, this is an underused feature. Unfortunately, it's not very capable of doing much of anything. They advertise that you can use the video settings to create music videos, but in my experience, it's very difficult just to get it to run decent. There's always syncing issues, so it's hard to sync your tracks. If you're scoring a film, it's hard to have it running and syncing with audio so you can match it correctly with the picture. It doesn't accept many video formats, which I had to go through many different renders of files just to figure out what the program will handle. And you have to install external plugins that sometimes don't even work. And with Windows 10, it's even more unlikely, which I am using Windows 10. So the video function, I just skip it entirely. It's definitely underused, underutilized, and not what it needs to be. But the audio tracks and the instrument tracks is for MIDI files. This is pretty self-explanatory. We'll get into more detail as we get into the actual UI layout. Load template, if you don't want to have to load all your samples in again every single time you're starting up the program, you can load up a template and it'll load it for you so you can save some time there. And you can load an existing project here, which I actually will do. This is a previous program that I have just some samples loaded so we can save some time, and I can jump right in and show you guys what it sounds like. So we're going to click loading. Down here on the status bar, it shows the green bar, which is loading. You can also freeze tracks that are displayed here, and freezing tracks is when you're using high amount of resources, you can have the program not render the effects on the track real time. You can just sort of freeze it and it creates an uncompressed WAV file that plays instead of rendering those tracks in real time, which is helpful. Now, this is the layout. When you first jump in, you're going to have, this is the grid area. So right here that I'm selecting, these are the tracks. So this is the track list. And up here we have the main window toolbar. A lot of options up here. You can snap, like I was saying earlier. You can change the display from the time of the track, so the length, or the beats, so you can line up your samples and your loops. Up here, save, zooming into the track, just everything you can do with your mouse and your keyboard. You can scroll in. You can actually adjust and change what commands actually control this window. So if you don't like the way that they set it up by default, you can customize it in the preferences, which is right here. This is the grid area. Like I said, this is the timeline. So it actually tells you what the BPM is, your key, and your time signature, which is really helpful. A lot of times, Mixcraft, you can actually change the key of a track, especially with loops. Loops are very good at doing this. Every loop changes keys dynamically. And if you right-click this little flag here and you click Edit, it'll give you the options that you can actually adjust the BPM, time signature, key, and the color of the flag if you want to do so, and you can name it. Also, tapping the tempo. This is kind of cool. If you don't know what a beat is that you want, but you can sort of count it out, you can just click at a certain tempo, and it'll calculate the time between your clicks, and it'll give you the tempo that you want, and you can adjust it there. So that's kind of cool and helpful. Save some time. And this is the performance window that I was talking about. This is where you have, if you have a soundboard hooked up, you can drop in loops here that you made or loops that come with Mixcraft, which we'll get into in a second. And you can drop them in here and sync with them with the soundboard so you can play them live. Very cool, very helpful. It's not really an original feature, but it is great that it's here. So you can use it if you need to use this for live. And because the software is so cheap, again, pretty good decision to go with this one. Now, this is what I was saying about the library. One thing that Mixcraft really excels in is, while it doesn't have a lot of advanced features that programs such as Pro Tools or Cubase has, it sort of makes up for that by giving you thousands and thousands of samples. I believe there's actually 5,000 samples here. I think this list is going to keep growing, and there's so many samples, and they keep adding new ones. They have new packs that come out all the time. This is your list. There's so many to choose from here. So if you don't have samples that you're investing in and you're just kind of jumping in and getting started, there's a lot of different opportunities here to create some cool sounding tracks with what they give you. And because there's so many, the chances that your tracks are going to sound like somebody else's, while they're still there and they're higher than if you were creating some original tracks, it's great that you can create something that can sound somewhat original and interesting at the same time. So this is much bigger than GarageBand and many other programs that I know that I've worked with. So the reason why I loaded up this project Mixcraft introduction is so I can show you what some of the samples sound like. So I have them loaded in, and you can load in samples by clicking this keyboard button here. So it lets you change the instrument, and then it'll give you the list here. You can select from the large list of instruments that come with the program, and I have the full version of Contact, so I just selected that. Pops up down here in the instrument section, shows you what all instruments are selected on the track. You click the edit button and it loads it up. These are just a few of my samples that I have loaded in right now, and I chose this sampler called Damage. And I have the piano hooked up and Evolve, which is also one of my favorite ones. Not the game, not talking about the game. I mean, I love the game. Well, actually, I don't love the game. I don't actually have the game, but I've played it. Okay, we'll leave it there. We're just going to record something really quick and show you how quick and easy this is to do. So Damage. We'll have a 4-click here, and you can actually count in your clicks. Whenever you want to play the metronome settings, this is really cool. Very simple. Playback is whenever you press M on the keyboard. So on playback, if you press M, it turns the metronome on and off. On recording, you have to hold Shift and M, and that will also enable and disable. Recording count and measures, whenever you press record, which is R, again, it will count you in. So instead of starting immediately, it'll let you have some time to prepare for when the recording starts. This is a really helpful feature, but we don't need it right now. So we'll start in here. Okay, and I am going to extend this, but unfortunately, actually no. Yeah, I already have the effects enabled, and I'm going to disable them for now, just so I can enable them and show you what it sounds like, what the difference is in the sound. So I just recorded that. Now I want to add some epic drums in here. Okay, that's good enough. So we're going to add some piano beats in here. I'm going to move over to my MIDI keyboard over here for a second. By the way, a MIDI keyboard recommendation is the M Audio, the key station, the 61 key station. I'm going to play something really quick so we can get something recorded here. I actually have some effects that are on it, so I'll leave those on, but this is what Actually, this little button right here, since I accidentally clicked it, I'll click it anyway and show you what it is. This is the automation, these three little blue dots. It lets you change the individual volume or the pan of a track. And if you have specific settings with the sampler, you can adjust those individually here, which is super helpful. So you can have some very, very customized sounds. Now, this is not intuitive at all visually, so Mixcraft, it definitely takes a while to get used to, so they could definitely work on fixing this and making this easier to adjust. So that is a downside, but it's not a huge problem because a lot of the greatest samplers let you customize a lot within them, so it's not too much of a problem. All right, so the effects panel, this is where in this window you can add individual effects to Mixcraft, to that track. And these are all the default ones that come with the program. It has more than Pro Studio 6, but a lot of these do come with Pro Studio 6. My favorite, the band equalizer, the studio reverb. This is the Pro Studio reverb, not this Acoustica reverb. These come with the standard version of Mixcraft. I don't like any of these. And this is the broadcast multiband compressor. I love the multi-broadband compressor, which is the same thing, but that's in Premiere terminology. But this is a little bit simpler. It's not as powerful, but it's very cool. It gives you some default settings here. So high pressure, loud, normal, smooth. These adjusted smooth allows you to adjust the volume very smoothly. Normal is a pretty standard compression, adjusts all the levels, so all the caps are right around the same area. If you know anything about sound frequencies, you can see how these caps here, right now, this sort of limits the amount, the volume of the frequencies that the frequencies can reach before that sound starts clipping. So if you're going up all the way at this top, it can start clipping, and it sounds really muddled. But this is really cool, and I like this. So we're actually going to keep this on... No, actually, wait, I'm just going to delete it since I already have the effects on the main track. So I'm going to enable all of these. And let me play really quick just so you can see what it sounds like without any effects enabled. All right, and we're going to play this again with effects. And that was compressed, so you can see how everything sounds a lot more balanced, and the drums are louder, the damage is louder, and the keyboard is louder. So we're going to add one more with this evolve. We're going to arm it, so this little red button here, this is basically enabling that is the track that you are going to record on. We'll just stop it there and manually finish it. Save some time. All right, cool. So we play it again one more time. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about this piano, this little notation section here. This is the virtual keyboard, and we can adjust the size by clicking these magnifiers. Pretty easy to understand here, self-explanatory. And this is kind of cool. It zooms in, so you can adjust and see the details and these little beats. So, and as you zoom in, the lines that are breaking up the beats get a little finer, so you can start seeing the details and adjust to the specific time that you want the beat to start on. And you can snap it up here just like you can with the main grid up here. So kind of cool. I usually use this a lot. And if you want, you know, piano playing or something to sound human and not robotic, you can actually shut off the snap and you can slightly move it and make it sound less perfect. But when it's a digital synthesized sound, you want it to be pretty on beat. Otherwise, it does stand out a lot in the wrong way. And here, you know, you have your pencil. These are controlled by Q, W, and E. The pencil allows you to draw the notes. You just click and it places it. And then E loads up the eraser. All you have to do to erase the note is click and drag and hover over the note, and it will erase it too. And down here, you see this blue bar. This is actually the velocity, so how loud the note is actually playing. And let me load up the piano so I can show you this more dynamically. And when you click this little arrow, it loads up. You can change the foot pedal, the volume level, holding the pedal on and off, and the pitch wheel. So if you have a pitch wheel, you can adjust and bend the sound, which is kind of cool, and so on. And kind of cool, you can actually go into the score option when you click it, and it loads up the notation format for this. So it tells you the time signature. And I play a little offbeat, so you're going to see a lot of random sounds here. But this is really helpful when you want to print out your music and give it to an orchestra to play. And then you can click print, and it'll load up your printer. So I've actually used this before, and it actually works really well. You just got to make sure that everything is on beat. And so you can see the notes behind it, so you can adjust it. That's kind of cool. We're going to go back to piano. Now I'm going to load up a sample program that I actually wrote previously to show you. This is something that's not finished yet, but I do want to show you an example if you have a lot of different samples loaded in. Now, Mixcraft, like I was saying, does have a problem playing tracks and pieces that have a lot of samples loaded in. It has to load each track individually in each sample, so that does take a little bit of time, but you know, that's okay. That's normal. That's the way Kontakt works, and that's the way samples work. So I'm going to let this load really quick, and then I'll show you as soon as it loads. Okay, so if you see here, this is the window that pops up saying that I have too many resources in use. This is Mixcraft's greatest problem. While I have a generally small low amount of samples loaded, it's giving me this issue. And even if I reload the project, it still gives me that problem. So that's something that Mixcraft definitely needs to fix. I've emailed them multiple times, and they've emailed me solutions. It's pretty clear that even they know that issue can't really be fixed, even if I do everything that they ask me to do to fix it on my end. I've tried many different things, and that's just Mixcraft's limitation. So definitely keep that in mind when you're making your purchasing decisions. Oh my gosh, that looks weird. That's not what it's supposed to look like. Well, let me see if I can play it and it'll still sound right. Yeah, and so it still sounds right. I'm going to let you listen to this for a little bit. If you look in the bottom right here, it says that my CPU usage is at around 60% and the system is 86. This is very bad, and I can't actually decrease this. Even if I close a bunch of the programs that are running, Mixcraft just has a hard time running a lot of these programs. You can kind of hear that the way it works is a lot of different tracks running, and this track's not finished, but now I'm going to stop it here, and I'm going to play over on top what it actually sounds like when I actually export it out. So this is what it sounds like. As you can see, it sounds much higher quality. And you can see how the program's actually glitching out a little bit too. This is a glitch. This is not what the track is supposed to look like, and I don't know why. My program's actually freezing a little bit. And again, this is Mixcraft's issue. This is not my computer, since I am running a very high-end PC. But with that, I'm actually going to end it there. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. I hope that this has helped you out. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Leave them in the comment section below, and I'll try to let you know anything I can about Mixcraft to help you out. If this program was responding, I'd show you how you can load in the samples. But basically, you have to go to your preferences, go into the plugins menu, and you will see where it says you can load in your VSTs. And that's a whole nother tutorial. I do have a tutorial on how to get Kontakt installed. It's a little outdated now, but I will have the link to that in the description below. So check that out so you know how to get that installed if you're just getting into Kontakt. Guys, again, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want to see more of these, because I have a lot of audio production tutorials that I release. And like it if you did like it, and dislike it if you didn't like it. But don't just dislike it. Let me know in the comment section below so I can figure out how to make my videos even better. So with that, thanks for watching, guys, again, and I'll see you next time.